Hiya. Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Ooh.
How do you feel in general about moving on from school?
Well, it feels good. I mean, gain a bit of independence, not having to be in the same place 5 days a week. But it does feel a wee bit strange that middle of April we come in and then we just don't go back. I think it would just be a bit weird not being there all the time with all the people that are there.
Yeah, definitely. Just going from seeing like the same people every single day to often something completely different, and everyone's in
Yeah,
and then in a couple of months, August, September, everyone's dotted about all over like the country,
yeah, everyone just kind of
and then
disappears. Even people that I don't really speak to very often, it'll be weird not seeing them every day, you know.
yeah, definitely. So, what are you planning to do after school, and why?
In August, I'm off to South Africa for a year to teach English to kind of primary age children. And the reason I wanted to take a gap year was I'll only be 17 when I go.
Hmm.
And I didn't really think uni was the best option for me. I've been a year younger than everyone else at school my whole life. I thought I
Yeah,
might as well wait a bit.
and I was talking to this with
Yeah,
college lecturers as well, because they're like big advocates for obviously college and then foundation apprenticeships and modern apprenticeships, and they were talking to us about obviously because they talk to employment people and like the schools and the careers advisors and all that at the schools, and uni is the thing that the schools drive like a lot, and they spend a
yeah,
lot of
and
time focusing on it, and it is good, I think, but only thinking about uni, it's it's limiting.
yeah. I'd still like to go. I'm off to Aberdeen when I come back, but I just straight out of 13 years of school, straight into four more. Just it was not appealing to me at all.
Yeah, I'm the same. And you start the actual job, they've got to give you more training for that specific role as well. It's
I
just
know.
a
So
lot of
it's not
time.
even yeah, it's not even the final bit. There's still so much more after it. So I thought I'll just take a year and I'll do something fun and um, not do any kind of learning myself, basically.
Hmm. So did you say you're going to Aberdeen after it?
Yes. So for marine biology. Um, So
Right.
I deferred the course. I spoke to the uni.
Hmm.
They seem quite excited with what I'm doing. So yeah, and my mum keeps talking about how I'll be too far away from her, but after being on the other side of the world for a year, I think she'll manage without me for a couple of days at a time. But
Yeah, that's a massive change from school, which is good. How did you come to like this the decision to decide to go to South Africa to teach English? Like, how did you go from okay, so I don't want to go to uni to like the decision to do that?
I considered quite a lot of places for a gap year, but the company that I'm going with, they send people all over the world to do placements, and you can teach at a high school level, a primary level, you can do social care. And my mum was born in South Africa, so I was just kind of desperate to see the country that she grew up in. So
Yeah,
when I knew that they sent people away there, that was half the reason I applied, really.
yeah, that's pretty cool. So are you quite confident in that decision for the gap year, then going to uni? Is that path? Is that like are you quite confident in doing those?
I think so. Yeah, I think uni. I think I'll be fine with after a year away. I don't think anything will phase me anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
But the gap year, I've got £7,000 to raise, which was quite daunting at the beginning, but I think I'm going to hit it in the next 3 weeks. I think I'll make it. So that was really the thing I was most nervous about. But the fact that I think I'm going to hit it and it'll be over with. Um, it's all the just little mini things like who I'm going to meet, where I'm going to be, but they were definitely minor compared to the money.
Yeah. How do you feel in general about leaving school and moving on?
Oh dear. Uh, right. So I was supposed to leave my hometown like years and years ago when I was like 9 or 8 or something, and I just begged, like I would just start crying and I was like begging, like no, 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 and eventually we didn't move, uh, and my parents, they said to me, uh, you know, you're gonna stick through school, right? We're gonna finish school, and then we're gonna go into high school, right? There's a good high school nearby. We're gonna finish that, and once you do that, we're done with this place, right? We're gone. So now, high school and stuff was like not good. Well, half of it's not good for me. So I don't know. It's just kind of flew by, and now that I'm here, and now we're at the point where I have to face the music. I didn't. I just think that, I'm just not that ready. Like, cause although I'm an only child and stuff, like, I'm still not incredibly independent. Um,
Yeah.
so, you know, going out to like a different place that I'm just not very familiar with, and like I'll be moving there, like the whole family will be and stuff. So like, it's not just going to uni and then just being able to go home. There's so many things that are happening at once, and it's quite overwhelming.
Yeah. Like it's actually like full time moving to a new place for you instead of just
Yeah,
like going to uni there.
it's just hmm
Really.
it's it's quite it's stressful, but at the same time, you know, I've kinda came to terms with it because I was never super social, but the idea of meeting people with like similar interests like that's always been exciting to me. I'm not panicking about it anymore. Um, not
Yeah.
dreading it, but
Cause
it would
kind of
definitely be sad to say goodbye to my hometown.
yeah. And
Definitely.
I think part of it's like you know that it's gonna happen and like you know that you have to do it. So
Yeah.
like even though you don't really know how it's gonna go or you're not fully confident about it, like I think part of you might just accept it's gonna happen. I've got to move,
It's inevitable.
but just
Yeah.
make the most of it.
Mhm.
What are you going on to, or what you're planning to do when you leave school and move?
Well, I'm a little bit tied for two different courses right now. Um, but I'm leaning towards doing animation for games.
Mhm.
It's a 2 year course, but if I do well, I can extend it to a 3 and a 4 year. Yeah, it's just animation for games. We'll do a lot of 3D, 2D work, working with 2D, 3D assets, and like motion graphics. We'll do a bit of interactive audio, storytelling, I think, as well. It'll be quite fun. It's something I've always been interested in. I always had a lot of trouble like sticking to something like hobbies and stuff. But I feel like it's something that I'm genuinely interested. Like it really it mixes up a lot of the things that I have interest in. But a big issue was that I had interest in like computing and like artwork and stuff as well,
Yeah.
but I could never do primarily one at a time. I was always at a crossroads, and it was really. I've always had this since I was young. I always had to choose like I kind of want to stick with. I can't. It's hard for me to have multiple like hobbies, right? So like I
Yeah.
kind of I get fixated on something, so I had to choose whether I wanted to get into like doing computing work and stuff or like being more arty.
Yeah.
And I was very arty when I was younger, but then in high school I started getting into computers and stuff. But during half of high school I wasn't very happy, so I've this is good because this is like a compromise. I can work in both aspects and it'll be enjoyable. I think it'll be enjoyable.
Because you like, you want to like be committed to one thing, but that requires you to kind of let go of the other thing. But
Yeah.
with this you can commit to something that has both of them.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
that's
because
pretty cool that you
I
found that.
don't, it's not extreme, like I don't, it's not hyperfixation, but I can't, it's hard for me to adopt multiple hobbies at once, unlike other people that I know.
after you do this uni course, what are you thinking of doing? Are you thinking like to go into a computer game animation job, or are you thinking about trying something
Oh
different?
dear.
Or do you not know yet?
There's two sides to the coin, right? Going into, the video games. It's a reliable market, right? Like especially if you're going to a big business, like you're guaranteed, well, you're almost guaranteed to be like financially like, uh, you know, you'll be fine,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But I think what really inspired me to take this course was like it's a bit cringe, but like I prefer playing indie games. Like, and one thing that I really enjoy watching is like the development in indie games and like how people like are inspired. Like,
right.
how their outside interests or like influence like their like okay, there's a game that I played like a year ago or something called Outer Worlds, and I watched there was like a short documentary about the creation of the game, um, and the main guy that made it was like he had a big interest in physics, right? The game is about exploration in space, right? And he
Right.
had a big interest in physics, and that kind of sparked like this idea that he had to make the game, and like he got family members and friends to help him out. Like his sister, I think, was a writer, was into literacy, and so she helped write a lot of the story for the game. And like it's stuff like that that like that is inspiring. Like that is genuinely interesting. Like
Yeah.
I'm not. I find it a hard time to get inspired or like to get motivated to do something, but like stuff like that, I think is like amazing.
Yeah, like the personal elements. You can take something
Hmm.
like personal and then put it into a
Yeah.
creative outlet that's like a work related creative outlet, and then you can create something from an
Hmm.
inspiration from a personal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's like,
that's pretty
and
cool.
that's something that I would really like to do. The only
Yeah.
issue is it. It's not as dangerous now because startups are a lot more prominent. It's a lot easier to kind of get by now with like Kickstarter and Patreon, but like you're still you're still gambling, right? Because the finished product might not be like satisfactory to like the general audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's an element of it might not work out
Yeah.
in games.
Mhm.
In general, how do you feel about moving on from school?
The big question. Scared, probably. You're gonna have to change the structure up. Not sure that's gonna go exactly, if you know what I mean.
Structure or what?
But I'm happy. Oh yeah, well, first of all, I'm hopefully going to university.
Mhm.
It's similar to school, but still differences.
What are you going to, or what you planning or thinking about going to uni for?
I don't know. Something I find interesting, like sound design, or like games design, development, stuff like that. I might swap courses, and like when I go there, I don't know.
All right.
I'm just kind of postpone going to get a job.
So would you need to go to uni for the type of job that you want, whether that's in like sound design or game design or like cybersecurity or whatever it is, whatever one you go
Yeah,
into, you need to go to uni for that job.
probably because like everyone's like, you need a degree to get into most places. Plus, all the entry level jobs
Mhm.
with like the stupid requirements like 10 years previous work.
Yeah. So having a degree, it's gonna.
It'd help. I mean,
Yeah, I
uh,
imagine so.
but you can do really well without even going into any higher education or even finishing school if you're
Mm.
determined to do something enough.
So, so after you go to uni for whatever area it is, do you want to get a job after that in that area, or are you thinking about doing something different?
Well, I mean, hopefully in the area. I mean, I don't know. I might change course. For some reason, I have this feeling I'll probably change course there for some reason.
How would you change course in uni?
Well, at the end of a year, they kind of allow you to change course. Well, you can ask to change course, and they'll look at like how you're doing and what you've done,
Mm-hmm.
and then they'll just kind of let you in, going back to the first year of the course. Is what I'm thinking it is something like that. But I don't know.
Well, it's good that they give the option to sort of change about instead of just at the end of S6 you make a decision to go to a course and you've got to spend the next 4 years doing it and you kind of get out of it. It's good that they've given you the option. If you want, you can change
Yeah.
courses if it like makes sense for you to do so, and they don't just lock you into like a 4 year course that you've got completed.
University is just kind of like a way to go places, if you know what I mean.
A lot of jobs, like higher level jobs, you need a degree, so you've got to go to. I mean, you don't always have to go to uni for uh, some stuff like that. You probably get in through other ways, but having that going
Yeah.
in a job, that's gonna make you outperform everyone else and the candidates for getting the job.
Plus, it determines what you actually can do the
Mhm.
thing you're applying for.
What would you do if it didn't work out, and do you ever worry that it's not going to work out?
I think the biggest worry just now is obviously because it involves flights and staying in places, different country, is COVID. Like, what if
Yeah,
I get out there and it gets bad, or I get out there and it gets bad at home, and I've just left everyone? But it seems to be settling down just now. Touch wood. But I think it's everyone's biggest concern for everything at the moment, isn't it?
yeah. Well, for people staying in Scotland, I feel like they don't really worry about it because it's close compared to going off to a different country. 'Cause you've got no idea
Yeah.
like how
And
serious it can be there.
and different governments' COVID regulations, are they
Yeah,
going to be
definitely.
careful? Are they not really going to care? Just trying to work out how it's all going to work.
That path of going from like school to uni to do that to a job to do that is that a worry in
Well,
in your path?
I've always I've always played it safe, right? Like I've played life kind of safe. Like I've worked independently, like on commission and stuff to make money for myself.
Hmm.
Despite I can act lethargic, I can be tiresome all the time, and I can be a bit of a slouch. But I do value education a lot. Like if it's something I care for, yeah, I do value like the subjects that I take in school and stuff like that. If I believe it's worthwhile.
Yeah, definitely. Although school, I think, does have a lot of flaws, and
Yeah,
a lot of
definitely.
flaws. There are some good elements to it if you're doing a subject that you care about or that you want
Mhm.
to do like a career that's related to that, then
Yeah,
having
definitely.
a well constructed course or well constructed like plan for that subject,
It's funny
that's
you
pretty
say that.
valuable.
About a year ago, before my final year of high school, I have no idea what I just didn't know what to do, and I was genuinely worried because a lot of people knew what they wanted to be. I had a friend that knew they wanted to be like they go into like surgery and stuff like that, and it's like I was kind of insecure about it. I didn't know what I was doing, so I picked a course for the final year of school. It was like an outside course. You go to a different college
Hmm.
for cybersecurity, and now that I've kind of made my mind up that I'm gonna go into something arty, but also incorporates like computing and stuff like that. It's like this course is so bad. Like this is horrible. This is a case in which I don't really I'm not valuing this. Like it's like this isn't beneficial. Like it's not just because the course is bad, but it's genuinely uninteresting and stuff. So that would be an exception to the me valuing education and stuff like that. If I find the course like useless and stuff, like that's one of the flaws as well. That
Yeah.
I think a lot of schools they don't really look into the like outside courses that they provide, like to external like to college, different like colleges and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah.
I feel like school is good, but at the end of it, like where we are, it focuses so much on you stay in school the entire six years and you try and get the highest level qualifications you can in school,
Mhm.
then you go on to uni. But that's so restrictive that
Mhm.
like stuff like, even though I know you said your college course isn't great, but like there are a lot of good college courses.
They definitely are. Yeah, definitely.
So I feel like a lot more importance needs to be placed on them. And then after school, schools are so focused on uni, whereas going on to do college or employment or an apprenticeship, which is what I'm doing,
Mhm.
all of those are really, really good options. And they just kind of
Of course, yeah.
they just
Yeah,
kind
you
of
don't
get
need to
glanced
rush it.
over
Yeah.
because school is so focused on stay in school all the way to 6th year, then go to uni. But leaving school in 5th or 6th year, or even like leaving part time to do college. Like just now in school, I'm part time at school. I'm only in school 2 days, and I'm at college 3 days, and it can be quite difficult where like everyone else is in full time. It is so uni driven school, and stay in school, get your qualifications, leave and do uni. But there's so many more avenues to go down. Even if you do that, it's still a valuable route. But there are so many routes to consider.
Yeah.
But just
I kind of see what you mean. They
sticking to
like the school. They really put a heavy emphasis on like jumping like straight into uni. Like I know what you mean. Like my parents actually brought this up. They were saying I should maybe consider taking a gap year, if because of how indecisive I was last year about what I was doing. Uh, and although I'm not going to take the gap year, I think I'm going to go straight into uni. Like I think I kind of adopted that mindset. It the bigoted mindset where if you're not going to uni, like I don't know, you you're not a failure, but you're being like you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot.
right.
But like after a lot of studying, so after like looking into things and stuff, like I think honestly for most people it's kind of the best because although people say you can always just drop out of uni like whenever you want, it's like it is still a pretty decent commitment. Like, and so you kind of want to wrap your head around what you're doing with your life and stuff. And so honestly, like taking a gap year like that, like to do something else for a while, like just to to learn about yourself, I think that's actually really important.
Nah, the going to uni and then from uni going into a job in that field. Do you worry that that's not going to work out and that
Oh, constantly.
it's
Yeah.
it's like it's just something's going to happen whether you don't meet certain requirements or you don't get something done or they just don't offer you a placement or whatever it is and it just doesn't work out.
Yeah. So one of the big concerns, I suppose. That and like lack of jobs. And like my degrees aren't too general, which I've applied for. If you got like a computer science degree, you can do basically anything related to computers, can't you? I suppose engineering degrees are different because obviously it's like electrical, mechanical, and all the other ones.
Hmm.
So those ones are just also more specific. Sciences, I guess, they're also quite more specific, but they have really got a lot more general jobs you can go for.
Yeah, so do you think that's a good thing for you with the stuff that you want to do that it is kind of general so it's not like you leave uni with a really specific degree that's only useful for like a really specific job, that it's useful doing a more general degree because it's going to allow you to get into more places for a job.
Nah, specific like focusing on certain things you like. My brother's in uni, he does all this computer science degree. And he's not even interested in some of the things he does in the computing science course.
So do you think
So
it'd
if
be
I,
better to get like do something really specific?
yeah, if you know what you want to do, do something specific or just do something you like. Because what's the point in doing just a general course if you hate half of it?
Yeah, I suppose do the stuff that interests you. Is there any part of leaving school that you're not looking forward to, or that you're scared about, of just going from last few months of school to like just before you leave for South Africa? So like leaving school, is there any part of that that you're nervous about or not looking forward to?
I think school's just such a great support system, not in the sense that there's like guidance teachers and deputies and stuff, but like I said before, just the people that are in school. It's always someone go and chat to. I mean, again, just kind of maybe falling out of touch with people. That would be the thing I'm kind of most nervous about, but you have to expect it. There's no way around it.
Yeah, definitely. I think like you can spend as much time as you want thinking about it and thinking about, oh, I'm not never going to see these people again, and worrying about it. And even though part of that is true, there's a lot of people that you are never going to see again.
Yeah,
It's going to happen. Like you have to leave at some point, and you've got to move on to something else. But it definitely can be scary just saying bye to like a school year full of people and going off to meet like a
yeah,
completely new group of people who've never met before. That's
and
pretty daunting.
it's people that I've spent like the last 6 years with, and for some people that I've spent basically my whole life with.
Yeah.
All the way from even before P1 until now.
Mhm.
So,
Definitely. And then in 2 months you just need to say bye, and,
and
and some of them you're never going to see again.
yeah,
But I
that
mean,
stays can be quite interesting.
that's part of it. So going back to like leaving school and how you're feeling about it, for you, what do you think is going to be the worst, or one like the worst parts of leaving school and moving on?
There's a few things that I have to worry about. First of all, like before I'm moving stuff, it's going to be a very stressful time because I need to renew my passport because I have a Swedish citizenship because I'm not actually like a proper British citizen.
Right.
So I kind of want to maintain that. I could always just become a British citizen, but I kind of want to maintain the Swedish citizenship. So I have to go down to Sweden right after exams. I have to go straight into. I have to get into Sweden quickly, and renew the passport and stuff. And then I gotta get back, and then we're gonna pack really quick to get into the new house for like to prepare and stuff for uni as well. And it's gotten worse because apparently there's like there's a passport epidemic going on in like Sweden or something like that, where there's like a bunch of people trying to get into like trying to get like renew their passports and stuff, and there's like it's just it's gonna be a really stressful time, and I find that always believed that I was a calm and composed person, but I'm not. Like under pressure, like I can get like really angry, like and I can get I lash out at people a lot. Like I can get mood swings and stuff like that as well. So
Hmm.
it's I don't I don't like being stressed out because it's not I'm not that worried about my own health. It's probably not a good thing, but it's more I'm worried about some of the people around me because I can be really aggressive, like towards like family and friends and stuff like that. I kind of push people away.
Right. So you think that like that time between finishing like school and the exams, from that time until you start your new college course, that
Yeah,
is going to be like a difficult time.
that would be very stressful. It doesn't help as well that I have to say goodbye to like a lot of my closest friends. Like this is, and I most likely won't see them again. And so that's like that's hard. It really is.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to look on the bright side because I do know a few people that are going to the uni I'm going to, and like from school, but also like I've made a bunch of friends throughout outside of school, like halfway into high school,
Mhm.
like. Because that was when I started getting happier again. When I started like meeting new people outside of school and like doing stuff outside of school, getting new hobbies and stuff, or try to
Yeah.
find like a hobby to stick with. So it won't it won't be horrible. It could be worse. Could be worse.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you've got people like who are going to be close to you when you go into high school, or sorry, when you go into
Hmm.
uni. There's going to be people there who you know to like support you,
Yeah,
and then
it's
like during the stressful time period, you've got that like once this is over, I can do something that I'm passionate about with people
mhm.
who I
it's
love.
it's like I'm always oblivious to what's happening around me. Like I'm not I have a lot of trouble paying attention and stuff. Uh, and like so I'm always relying on people. Like asking people what's going on or what are we doing and stuff like that. And so when I'm in this new environment, this foreign place, you know, it's to know people, like to have people that I can rely on. Like a lot of my friends are like they're smart people. I think like they're very smart people, and so to have people that like those like that I can rely on like to help me out and stuff. Like I couldn't ask for more. I really couldn't.
Moving on to like school in the last year of school, or is there any part of leaving school and moving on that you're not looking forward to, or you're nervous or worried about?
Most of it, but a lot of specifics. Losing touch with friends, I'm really worried about.
Hmm.
Because obviously I'm not moving that far away, but it's far away enough where it's a bit more awkward to talk to in person and meet people in person a lot.
Yeah, I mean, going
So
from
I'm worried about that.
going from seeing everyone 7 hours every day, 5 days a week for like throughout the whole year, and
Yeah.
then going from that to being like that's what I was talking to Molly about.
Maybe like once a month.
Yeah, going from that to like a completely new group of people who you've never met before, and then just not knowing if or when you're going to see certain people again after spending like 6 years talking to them every single day.
Yeah, really, I've been building friendships, which I hope stay. That's the big thing.
Hmm.
Obviously, one's like you're friends with some people, but like you're probably not going to talk to them much after school. But there's those friendships you made at school where it's like, yeah, this is lasting. It's gonna Jack and Victor, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Sort of.
like a few specific ones that are strong enough that they'll
Yeah,
withstand like moving around and going off to do
yeah.
completely different things.
Well, I hope they stand. That's what the worry is. But it's also exciting to me, obviously, new people. It's one of
Yeah.
the big reasons I want to do this.
Is there other things that you're scared or nervous or worried about leaving school and just moving on in general from school?
Maybe learning to not like the place I move into, because where I'm staying is, well, over the past couple of years, I've really learned to appreciate it. Yeah, lots of like hiking stuff I can do is over here as well. A lot of nature. Then moving into a city takes a bit more time to get into nature, because I like hiking.
Yeah, I suppose you're going from like changing like physical environments in place
Yeah,
of where you are. That's a big difference.
all that sort of stuff. It's exciting but worrying at the same time.
Hmm. On a lighter note, what's the best bit about leaving school and moving on for you?
Um, Probably just having a bit more freedom, not having to be in that building 9 till 5, Monday to Friday, um, and not having to be in the same classes all the time in the same classrooms. And I think it'll be a change, but I think it'll actually be a nice one. just kind of relax a bit, even though there's exams on. But it'll be so different not being there. But it would just be so nice, I think. Just relax. No more stress, no more teachers,
Definitely, yeah.
no more standing out in the rain during fire drills,
Hmm. Unless they have fire drills in South Africa, I would definitely think the change in restrictiveness that school has to compare to, well, how, when you're going off to do this, how sort of tight is it? Do you have to show up to like a certain place at a certain time and teach certain things, or is it kind of just like you're doing it on your own, like your own, like you've got control over it, so you can kind of show up to different places when you want and teach what you want?
I'll be working with another girl the whole year, and she'll be the one that I live with as well. And I think we'll just be given a school, but because it's primary level, there's no switching classrooms, and we can spend as long as we want on this bit and as short as we want on this bit. And I think I'll be able to incorporate some music in there, hopefully, and I think we get to lead like extracurriculars as well. So even though there's still be a timetable, it'll be way more relaxed, and there'll be less pressure on us.
Hmm.
Personally.
So you have quite a bit of control over the the teaching of it. They're not going to like tell you, okay, so you need to teach them phonetics on these few months, and then you need to teach them this thing the next month. It's sort of just the
Yeah.
structure of the lessons is up to you.
Yeah, I reckon the schools that the volunteers are sent to were probably sent there because they're short on staff.
Hmm.
So if they've got enough like teachers, adults in the school to be hovering over us and telling us what to do, then they don't really need us. So I imagine there'll be the two of us, maybe some other volunteers, and then a very small handful of staff for probably quite a large group of kids. So
It's so different from anything anyone else is doing, even like in what it is, but also the the aspects of it. Because if you go off to do even like a college or uni apprenticeship, it's all sort of the same, that it's all further education in some way. Obviously, like college, you can get different qualifications, and it's part-time. In apprenticeships, you get work placements and work experience with it. But it's all still further education, but going off, like to teach something to someone else and having a lot of control over that, that's
yeah,
it's quite a difficult decision to make. I imagined like choosing, like committing to it and be like, because you've got
yeah,
the option, well, really you've got the option to do absolutely anything after S6, but
uh-huh,
landing and committing to the decision to do that, that's a pretty big decision, but it's a really
yeah.
unique one that not a lot of other people, well, barely anyone is going to experience or have the opportunity to do.
I
It's,
think the reality of it definitely hit when I got the email to say I'd been chosen as a volunteer. So I think that was when my mum and dad realised, oh, right, oh no, they have actually picked us. She's going to go away for a whole year. What are we going to do? And then that was me going, oh, I actually do have to go away now. So
yeah,
it took a couple of weeks, but I'm just so excited to go now. And what's the worst thing that's going to happen? I decide it's not for me, and I come home. So,
yeah.
but I can't imagine I'll do that. I'm always quite good at making light of situations, so I'll stick with it.
During like leaving school and moving on to do something else, what are the best bits about that you're looking forward to? Things that you're excited for, and that you're like, yeah, just stuff that you're looking forward to, and leaving school and moving on.
A lot of things. I know, I was saying I was sad about leaving my hometown, but I'm gonna bash it now. Like it's kind of lame here.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Nah, yeah, I
it is
agree.
pretty
I
lame.
agree.
And also like as a person of color, like and everyone like here. I don't have a problem with the people here, right? But like everyone here, they're like, uh, they're white, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be awesome, right, to go somewhere where it's lots of different cultures, like to see people from all around the world, like instead of in like one little bubble. Like I think that is incredibly exciting. Like
Yeah.
to meet people that that have like with different beliefs and stuff like that, different cultures. I think that's like that's so exciting to me.
Aye. It's
Like
not just meeting like
so exciting.
it's not just like exciting to meet specific people. It's meeting new types of people.
Yeah.
It's
Uh-huh.
it's something you're not going to get from
Yeah.
going to like nursery, primary school, high school, and
Uh-huh.
then like college, uni, all within the same town. It's going to be the same people. But
Hmm.
that's like a big thing that everyone else I've talked to has been excited for, is meeting new people.
Of course, meeting people, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
But like, it's just nice to see like some like varied culture because I don't get out. I don't get out of the bubble much, right? And like when you do get out where we live and stuff, it's like
there's not much.
it's not a lot of diversity. There's
Yeah,
really not, yeah. But it's really nice. It's very exciting.
for you, what do you think is going to be the best bit or the best parts of leaving school and moving on?
First of all, now I'm just doing maths. Hopefully that much ever again.
Yeah, I mean,
Second
probably
of
math.
all,
There's almost definitely going to be maths in computing.
yeah, but it's not the main focus. Plus, I
Yeah,
can look it up on like Wikipedia how to do it.
yeah.
I'm
So
not going
not
to a
like
hall with a calculator pen in hand, go and solve the area between two curves.
yeah. It's not going to be like it's going to be like actual stuff, like the actually useful stuff, because it's the stuff that's in the uni courses is tailored to the degree that you get from it and the things that you
Yeah,
you go on to do. That's just anything that's not useful to the degree.
out the window.
Yeah. But
What's the question?
what do you think for you is the best bit or the best parts of leaving school and moving on?
We're going to IKEA to get new furniture and stuff.
You're excited to go furniture shopping for your dorm.
Yes.
Alright, fair enough.
Meeting new people. Just meeting new people. I think people are
Yeah.
great. Love them. Obviously, I'm moving into a city a bit more diverse than where I currently am, if
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah. Like obviously you're saying about there's more nature where you are and like you can't really go hiking in a city, but there is going to be
Yeah.
elements to move into that you wouldn't get where you are currently.
Yeah, tons of buildings, tons of
And
mainly historical things, which I was quite interested in. So that's another plus.
you're going to be, like you said, meeting new people and moving into like a new place, new stuff. But all the people, all the new people that I'm meeting, they're also they've also moved to a new place. So you're all like in the same situation where like
Shared experience, I
yeah,
suppose.
you're somewhere that you don't really know, but you're there with other people who are also in the same position as you. So it might be a bit scary, but it's good that you've got other people who are in the same position as you.
And hopefully, I suppose most of them will be quite nice. Most people are.
Is there anything that you're looking forward to, or any thoughts on just the part of leaving school before you start uni?
I think I'm gonna miss it in retrospect. Some
What
pretty
parts
good
of it?
times there. Just the people, some of the classes.
Like because leaving school and going on to do whatever it is you do is such a big thing and such a big change. There are so many good things about like things that people look forward to about leaving school and things that people look forward to about starting something new. But there's like stuff that's scary about leaving something you've been doing for the last 6 years, and like if you count primary school, that's 13 years. There's
I don't think I did remember half of it.
I don't remember anything about
Like,
primary school, but I've got a few like memories from it, like specific like moments, but like I don't like it doesn't feel like it was 7 years of my life. It just feels like
does
just like one thing that happened a long time ago. and I don't really remember much about it.
I remember getting covered in mud one time because I slipped, and I just had to think I had to get clothes from Lost and Found.
I remember I accidentally hit Jack in the head with a block of wood, and he told on me, and I got put on the 10-minute cloud for golden time.
Oh God, no, can't. Golden time. This teacher said, "No, what? No one talking." And as soon as after she said that, I think I spoke one word. 5 minutes off golden time.
Do you
It wasn't even
think?
like the main teacher. It was like a stand-in.
Aye.
She had no right.
Like I was saying there about primary school, about how it feels like didn't feel like 7 years. It just felt like one thing that just happened in the past, and I don't remember about it. Do you think in like 5, 10 years from now, high school's just going to feel the same? Because right now it feels like it does feel like the last 6 years of our lives, and it's like such a big thing. But in 5, 10 years from now, just like what happened with primary school, it
I
might.
don't think it will. I think high school's been more monumental. If I'm gonna be quite honest.
Yeah, well, I suppose you're older as well, so like you experience more things in high school, and there's more variety in it, and more like big things happen compared to primary school, where
Oh,
you're like kind of young and don't really remember much. So
what do you remember
that's
from high school right now? Because it's
well,
only gonna be a couple of months till.
well, I remember like a lot of it now because like it just happened, and it's still happening now. So I remember most of it, but I would have thought the same about primary school when that ended, and then now 5 years, 10 years later, it doesn't feel the same, and it just feels like one thing in the past. In 5, 10 years from this point, high school, I'm worried that that's going to feel the same, and that it's just going to feel like one big thing that happened in the past at like one moment, and not really remember
Yeah,
much about it.
just sort of blends together.
Yeah,
But let's say it's a smoothie you'll blend together. I think there'll be chunks of fruit and stuff still in it. You'll remember a lot more. If you want to use a bad analogy.
yeah, just the age difference as well. It might mean that you remember more. I hope it does, because I don't want high school to feel like primary does now, where it's just one thing that happened and it's just kind of like a blur.
I think we're in it. We specifically, our years are in a unique position where their senior years have been thrust into some sort of pandemic. That's what
Ah,
blended some of the modern senior years together, if you know what I mean.
yeah, I suppose. Well, I'm glad it happened for us in like fourth and fifth year, and not end of sixth year going on to do like uni or whatever. Because if it happened then, like for the people who were ending S6 when it happened, like that must have been so much harder. Like your last year, it just gets cut
Hmm.
off early, and then the thing that you go on, that you're supposed to be going on to do, that gets,
Completely different.
yeah, it gets completely changed and delayed. But I'm glad that we got to experience sixth year in person.
With a few things negated from 6 years, such as Christmas dance.
Oh yeah, well yeah,
I was gonna bust it down there as well.
some things were removed, but for the most part, we experienced it in person, which I'm really glad about.
What do you regret about? What things do you regret in high school, or up to now in life, that would affect you going forward? Do you think?
Uh, I think
It's hard, isn't it?
I regret that there's been a few people who leaving primary school and then the start of high school that I kind of like stopped talking to, whether it just like happened like just
Hmm.
naturally, like just changing. There was a lot of people that I stopped talking to. Some people who like I didn't make an effort to like reach out to them again or keep in contact with them. And I think that I could have done better at communicating to people who I was like friends with in primary school and at the start of high school. I could have done better at communicating with them instead of just shutting down and just like stopping the whatever it was that was going on, like the stopping the friendship, or even if it's people who I didn't talk to much, people that I talked to all the time. I think I could have done better.
I think I have a sort of opposite issue, which is I don't think I talked to enough new people when I came in, because I was a shy, awkward, disgusting, hideous-looking thing
Well,
at the start of
when you entered
S1.
high school, so you wish you
Yeah,
talked to more new people.
yeah, I wish I did,
Hmm.
because I was nervous so much, and I think I could have like talked to and maybe got some more friends. Obviously, that's just like what if stuff, but you know.
I think now, like me now compared to me in S1, it's so different. I feel like I'm so much more confident now. Like, see, in S1, I wouldn't go and talk to someone who I've never talked to before. I'd be terrified to do that. I would only talk to people who either like I kind of have to talk to them or I already knew them. Like with
Yeah.
you, I didn't know you at the start of S1, but because
We sat next to each other.
our names are next to each other's on the register, so we got placed next to each other in every single class, and that's
I'm
like the reason that I started obviously talking to you, because I was sitting next to you in almost all of my classes in S1. But if I wasn't, and you were just like someone else in the class who I didn't sit next to, I wouldn't have made an effort to talk, because I wouldn't have talked to anyone who I've never talked to before. But now I feel like I'm so much more confident, and I would just like start a conversation with someone who I don't know very well.
yeah.
But
I'm so happy your name starts with an H.
I know we could have been so unlucky if like
Oh,
mine was like an S or a T, and
or
we're
a
just
BO perhaps.
yeah, that would also be unlucky. But just like something completely different, and yeah, but it's like things like that. Like it's weird that I mean, I'm not saying like this wouldn't have happened otherwise, but when you go back in our friendship, like to the start, it happened because both our second names start with a H.
And we're in the same registration class.
Yeah, like if it weren't for that, like I might have never talked to you like the whole of high school.
I would have probably never met most of the people I talk to now.
You have like a desire to get to know people more and learn more stuff as you get older, and that's definitely been true for me in high school, going from S1 where I was extremely quiet and didn't talk at all, to like S6 where well, I mean, I'm still pretty quiet, but like I feel a lot more confident,
You do a lot of more confident actions going up to just people.
yeah, in myself. I feel more confident in myself than I did in S1, and had more experience talking to different people, which has been helpful and will continue to be helpful going into an apprenticeship or like a
Just
new
life.
college course or a job. Yeah, anything really.
Best part about high school for me, probably you.
Oh, that's a beautiful comment to end it on.
But seriously, you're probably one of the biggest things that was changing high school.
I feel the
I
same
really
about you.
appreciate you.
It's been you have been a big, obviously part of my high school experience, meeting AS1 to now we're still friends. Like even
And
doing
going up.
this. All right.
Alright, I'll see you
All
later.
right. See you later. Bye.
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 think it can be pretty scary leaving something that you've been doing for the last 6 years, and then 13 years if you count primary school, and moving on to something else. That's a big challenge. But it's okay to not know where you want to go, or not be fully sure what you want to do afterwards, because it can feel like everyone around you has this perfect, flawless plan for the next like 5, 10 years of their life. But when they leave school, they're going to do this, this, and this, and it's all going to work out. And it can be quite worrying and stressful if you don't have that. But I think a lot of people who say they do, they still have worries as well. Even if you've got your heart set on doing a specific course, and then from that course going on to this and this, you can't ever be sure that it's definitely going to work out. So there's an element of worry in leaving school and moving on for everyone, I think. But you have to move on at the end of the day. And not knowing what you want to do after school and then just not doing anything, I think that's letting the challenge of moving on from school get the best of you. Because it doesn't matter how long it takes you to figure out what you want to do, or to choose what course to do, or whatever it is you want to do. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to figure it out. As long as when you leave school you do something that you're happy or you're curious about doing, even in the slightest, you've successfully moved on.
Okay.
Did you have more questions, by the way? Did I
No.
derail this entire thing?
No, that was for those were the questions.
Alright, well, I'm pretty sure you have plenty of audio.
Yeah, I've been recording
Looking forward to see
for
how the visuals look.
38 minutes.
You're cutting this bit out right at the end.
Yeah. Well, I don't
Or
know.
are you gonna leave this one bit of me saying cut this out?
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Alright. Bye. Thanks for helping me out with this.
Bye.
Bye.